Today, we're diving into a story that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a fantasy novel. I'm talking about an entire army made of clay, buried for thousands of years, all to guard one man in the afterlife. Let's get into it.
So, what do you think is the biggest archaeological discovery of the last century? It's a huge question, right? But for a lot of experts, the answer is pretty clear. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't found by some grand planned expedition, not even close. It all started with the simple act of survival.
Picture this. It's the spring of 1974 in China. A terrible drought is hitting Shanxi province. A few local farmers are out there, just trying to dig a new well. They weren't looking for treasure or history. They were just desperate for water. And then their shovels hit something hard. They dug around it, and what they pulled out was the head of a life-sized clay warrior.
That one accidental find, well, it would completely rewrite history. Because what they'd stumbled upon wasn't just a single statue. No, they had found the very edge of a silent, underground army.
You know, what's truly mind-boggling is the secrecy of it all. For over 2,000 years, nobody knew this army was there. I mean, nobody. Ancient historians wrote about the emperor's tomb, sure, but this incredible army protecting it? Not one word, not a single mention in any historical record. Its discovery was a complete and total shock to the entire world.
And things moved so fast after that. From that first broken piece of clay to global recognition, it felt like it happened in a blink. Within a year, archaeologists were on site, and their jaws just dropped when they realized the scale of it all. And by 1987, the whole complex was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to the unbelievable ambition of just one man.
So, that begs the question, right? Who was this man? Who could possibly command the creation of something so massive and then keep it a secret for 2 millennia? To really understand the army, you have to understand the guy who ordered it.
His name was Qin Shi Huang. And you have to realize, before him, there wasn't really a China like we know it. He was the one who took a bunch of warring kingdoms and forged them into a single nation. And his title, it says it all. He wasn't just a king, he was the first emperor. This really shows you just what he accomplished. Look on the left, that's the world he was born into. A chaotic jumble of 7 different states that had been at war for centuries. And on the right, that's what he created. A single unified empire. It was an achievement that would literally shape the next 2,000 years of history. But that unity, it came at a staggering price. Qin Shi Huang was a man of huge contradictions. On one hand, a brilliant unifier. He standardized currency, writing, even the width of cart axles. But on the other hand, he was a brutal tyrant. He forced something like 700,000 people to work for over 30 years to build his tomb. Why? Because he was absolutely obsessed with the idea of conquering death and living forever.
And this obsession with immortality, it wasn't just about not dying. No, it was about ruling forever. And if you're going to rule in the afterlife, what's the one thing you absolutely need? You need an army.
So how big an army are we talking? Well, archaeologists think the grand total is somewhere around 8,000. Just let that sink in for a second. 8,000 life-size soldiers all ready for battle. And this is what that number looks like in reality. A silent, eternal legion standing in perfect battle formation. You've got it all. Infantry, archers, cavalry, chariots, the whole shebang. All with a single permanent mission. Protect their emperor for all of eternity. The sheer scale is just breathtaking. But it's when you zoom in on the details that your mind really gets blown. The genius of how they made these warriors is what truly sets them apart.
So get this. These aren't just cookie-cutter statues. Every single warrior is an individual. We're talking unique faces, different hairstyles, mustaches, expressions. No two are exactly alike. They were also originally painted in these bright, incredible colors, which tragically faded almost instantly when exposed to air for the first time in millennia. And they were carrying real state-of-the-art weapons, bronze swords that were still razor-sharp, and crossbows built with incredible precision. They pulled it all off using a system that was basically an ancient assembly line.
It's been said this wasn't just a military project. It was one of the greatest artistic projects in human history. The anonymous craftspeople who built this army were absolute masters, and they completely changed the story of sculpture.
But here's the most incredible part of this whole story. This entire army, this wonder of the world, it's just the security detail.
It's just the opening act for an even bigger mystery.
You see this unassuming hill, this man-made mound? That is the actual tomb of the first emperor. For all the amazing things we found in the pits around it, this central tomb, it has never been opened. No one in the modern world has any idea what's really inside.
And the ancient texts are just tantalizing. They describe this vast underground palace, a replica of his entire empire. They say the ceiling is decorated with pearls to look like the stars, and the floor has a map with rivers of flowing liquid mercury. Oh, and it's supposedly protected by deadly booby traps, like crossbows rigged to fire automatically at any intruders. I mean, who knows if they'd still work, but it just shows you the lengths you went to protect his secrets.
So the silent army continues to stand guard, but the emperor they protect remains undisturbed. It leaves us with this huge, lingering question. We found the guards, but the greatest treasure, the tomb itself, is still sealed, holding who knows what secrets. What else lies buried with China's first emperor? That just might be the next great archaeological discovery.